In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. My beloved brothers and sisters, today's message is simple yet life-changing. It carries the title, ALH says, you passed. Your reward has come. There are moments in life when you look at your journey and wonder if you're even moving. You wonder why your due seems delayed, why your struggles feel prolonged, why every door you knock on stays shut. And you start questioning not Allah, but yourself. Did I fail? Did I fall short? Did Allah forget me? But I want you to imagine something. Imagine a teacher who watches the student during the exam, not speaking, not guiding, not hinting, just silently observing. Not because the teacher abandoned the student, but because the test is proof of what the student already knows. And when the exam ends, when the paper is handed in, when the final moment arrives, the teacher doesn't whisper, they announce, you passed. My brothers and sisters, many of you are in that exact moment with Allah. Life's hidden tests are often the moments we overlook. The quiet pauses in our daily routines where nothing dramatic seems to be happening. Yet everything inside us is being measured. Allah observes us in these subtle, unseen spaces when no one is applauding us, when no one knows what we're carrying, when we ourselves can't make sense of why we feel the way we do. These tests rarely come with a warning label. They appear in the inconvenience that disrupts your plans, the person who irritates you without reason, the delay that makes you restless, the opportunity that slips away, or the door that closes just when you thought your breakthrough was near. These moments feel small, but with Allah, nothing is small. Every heartbeat, every breath, every reaction is recorded, and every choice reflects the state of your heart. Often, we expect tests to be loud, loss, heartbreak, major challenges. But Allah's most transformative tests are usually silent. They pass through our lives disguised as ordinary days. You wake up feeling heavy for no clear reason and still choose to pray. You feel overwhelmed yet continue showing kindness. You're exhausted but you hold your tongue rather than lashing out. You feel forgotten but you still remember Allah. These are the tests Allah uses to elevate your rank. These are the moments when angels write down something about you that you yourself did not notice. Consider the test of patience. It's not always found in tragedy, it's found in traffic, delays, repeated rejections, misunderstandings, and small frustrations. You might think these irritations carry no spiritual weight, but each one gives you a chance to demonstrate who you truly are when the world isn't watching. Allah sees the moment you want to snap but choose calmness. He sees the moment you want to give up but keep trying. He sees the moment your heart trembles in fear but you still say, Ya Allah, I trust you. And because He sees it, He rewards it even if the world doesn't. Then there are the tests of gratitude. These come when life is calm, when things are stable, when blessings are abundant. Many people fail these tests because comfort can distract the heart from its creator. When everything is going right, do you still say, Alhamdulillah? Do you remember to give charity? Do you remain humble, or does your heart grow proud? Do you acknowledge that the blessings you enjoy are from Allah and not from your own power? Gratitude is a test disguised as ease. Sometimes it is harder to stay close to Allah in comfort than in crisis. But when you pass these quiet tests of gratitude, Allah prepares you for even greater blessings. There are also the tests of character. These hidden trials appear in how you speak to people, how you respond to those who cannot benefit you, how you behave when someone wrongs you, and how you treat people who can offer you nothing in return. The Prophet taught us that the best among us are those with the best character. Yet good character only manifests through continuous testing. You cannot become patient without something testing your patience. You cannot develop humility without situations that challenge your ego. You cannot strengthen your sincerity without moments where showing off becomes tempting. Allah places these subtle tests in your path not to burden you, but to refine you, to shape you into someone who is worthy of His divine gifts. And then there are the tests of the unseen, those emotional, internal battles that no one else can detect. The sadness you hide, the fear you suppress, the worries you cannot voice. The days when your heart feels tight, when hope seems distant, when you struggle to see the wisdom behind your circumstances. These moments are not signs of weakness. They are invitations from Allah to turn to Him more intimately. He watches how you handle these internal storms. He watches how you lift your hands in dua even when you don't feel strong. He watches how you continue walking even when you feel drained. These internal struggles are often the most honored tests because only Allah knows the depth of what you are carrying and how much strength it takes for you to keep moving. In all these hidden tests, Allah is not looking for perfection. He is looking for sincerity. He is looking at your effort, not your outcome. He is observing your heart, not just your actions. He is witnessing the fight inside you. The fight to stay soft, to stay hopeful, to stay connected, to stay believing even when everything around you seems to push you in the opposite direction. These hidden tests are the proof of your faith, the measure of your growth, and the silent moments where your destiny shifts without you realizing it. There are moments in life when you feel trapped between what you're praying for and what you're living through, and in that space, you begin to wonder whether Allah is even sending you signs at all. But the truth is, Allah's signs don't always arrive the way you imagine. They don't always come as miracles that split the sea or as sudden moments that flip your world in an instant. More often, His signs arrive quietly, subtly through people, conversations, delays, and unexpected turns. They come wrapped inside moments you initially overlook, because the signs of Allah are perfectly timed, tailored to your heart, and sent in ways only you can truly recognize. Allah sends a sign to stop you when you are about to walk into something harmful. You might call it a disappointment, but it was actually protection. A door closes just when you thought it was finally opening, and you feel crushed, but what you don't see is the unseen danger Allah shielded you from. You may think a lost opportunity is a setback, but in Allah's design, it is often a doorway to something far better that you would have never considered had you not been redirected. His signs arrive at the moment your heart is strong enough to understand them, not when your impatience demands them. Sometimes Allah sends you a person whose words reach exactly the place that has been aching inside you. You hear something in a lecture, a reminder, a message, or even a casual comment from someone who didn't know anything about your struggle, yet their words hit you with the force of truth. These are not coincidences, these are divine alignments. How many times were you drowning in worry, only for a verse of the Quran, a friend's reassurance, or a passing remark from a stranger to echo precisely what you needed? These moments are Allah saying, I hear you, even when you haven't verbalized your pain. At times, Allah's signs come through delay. You keep asking for something and it doesn't happen, and you interpret that delay as rejection. But delays are signs too. Delay is Allah building something better. Delay is Allah shaping you. Delay is Allah aligning circumstances, people, and time so that what you receive is exactly what you need, not just what you want. If you had received it earlier, you might have misused it, misunderstood it, or lost it. But when Allah allows it to reach you at the perfect time, it settles in your life the way rain settles into dry earth, reviving it from the inside out. Sometimes Allah sends signs that look like endings. A relationship fades, a job ends, a chapter closes, a plan collapses. And in the moment it feels like everything is falling apart. But hindsight reveals that these endings were actually beginnings. That heartbreak saved you. That loss opened your eyes. That failure humbled you. That fall pushed you in a direction you would have never walked on your own. Allah's signs often look like contradictions at first, but if you look closely, they always carry wisdom. There are also signs that come through restlessness. You find yourself unable to feel comfortable in situations you used to enjoy. You feel a nudge in your heart telling you that something needs to change. That discomfort is a sign. Allah places uneasiness in your heart not to punish you, but to move you towards something better. He removes the sweetness from things He no longer wants you attached to. He makes certain paths feel heavy so you can find the one that is truly yours. Other signs come through opportunities opening unexpectedly. A chance appears out of nowhere. Someone reaches out with an offer you never pursued. A path becomes clear without you forcing it. These openings are signs too. Allah does not complicate what is meant for you. What is written for you will often unfold with a peace that feels almost unreal. And sometimes Allah sends signs in the form of silence. You ask and there is no apparent answer. You wait and see no change. But silence is not neglect. Silence is a sign that you are being prepared. Silence is Allah teaching you to rely on Him, not the outcome. Silence is His way of purifying your intentions, strengthening your heart, and increasing your capacity to receive. Every sign from Allah arrives with purpose. Every sign is perfectly placed. And even when you don't recognize it at first, Allah's signs never fail to reach you at the exact moment your soul needs them most. Sabr and Yaqeen are two of the most transformative forces in a believer's life, yet they are also the most challenging to maintain. Patience is not just about waiting. It is about how you wait, who you become while you wait, and what settles in your heart during the waiting. Certainty is not simply believing that Allah can do something. It is believing that He will do what is best for you even when everything around you suggests otherwise. When these two qualities come together, they reshape the soul, soften the heart, and elevate a person to heights they never imagined they could reach. Patience is often misunderstood. Many think patience means sitting quietly while suppressing frustration, but true sabr is active. It is the quiet strength that helps you keep walking when your legs feel heavy. It is the resilience that allows you to smile even when your heart is trembling. It is the discipline to guard your tongue when you want to complain. Patience is choosing trust over panic, surrender over resistance, and hope over despair. Every time you resist the urge to lose yourself in negativity, every time you refuse to let hardship turn your heart bitter, you are practicing a powerful form of sabr. And then there is yaqeen, the unwavering certainty that Allah's promise is true. Yaqeen is the flame that keeps burning inside you even when the wind of doubt tries to blow it out. It is the voice inside your heart that whispers, Allah is with me, even when you feel alone. It is the belief that Allah's timing is better than your own, even when the wait feels painful and long. Yaqeen is what transforms dua from a desperate request into a confident conversation between a servant and his Lord. It is what gives you the courage to keep asking, keep hoping, and keep trusting even when circumstances seem to contradict everything you're praying for. The combination of sabr and yaqeen is what carried Prophet Yaqub when he lost Yusuf, Prophet Ayub when his health and wealth were taken, and Prophet Musa when he stood at the edge of the sea with an army behind him. Their stories teach us that patience is not the absence of pain. It is the refusal to let pain make you forget Allah. Their certainty was not based on visible solutions. It was rooted in knowing the nature of the one who never abandons his servants. In your life, sabr and yaqeen appear in countless ways. When you choose to wait with grace rather than anxiety, you are practicing sabr. When you continue to make dua even when you see no sign of change, you are demonstrating yaqeen. When you stop questioning why Allah put you in a situation and instead ask what He wants you to learn from it, you are combining both patience and certainty. When you choose to believe that your heartbreak, delay, loss, or confusion has divine wisdom behind it, you are walking the path of those whom Allah honors. Sabr also means restraining yourself from rushing into decisions that are driven by fear. Many people ruin what could have been beautiful because they could not wait. They settle for less because they lost hope. They walk away from what Allah could have written for them because they lacked certainty in His plan. Yaqeen protects you from this. It reminds you that what Allah withholds is as important as what He gives, and what He delays is as meaningful as what He brings forward. Patience is not passive suffering. It is strength hidden beneath silence. It is courage disguised as calmness. It is discipline wrapped in humility. And yaqeen is not blind optimism. It is faith rooted in knowledge, love, and experience with Allah. When you remember how many times Allah has carried you through things you thought would break you, yaqeen grows. When you recall how many times relief came from places you never expected, yaqeen deepens. When you recognize that Allah has never abandoned you, even in your darkest chapters, yaqeen becomes unshakable. Sabr shapes your actions and yaqeen shapes your heart. Together, they transform hardship into elevation, waiting into worship, and uncertainty into deep spiritual growth. Many people go through life thinking they have failed simply because their journey didn't look the way they imagined. They assume that if a plan fell apart, if a relationship ended, if a dream faded, or if their path became difficult, it must mean they were not good enough or that Allah did not accept their efforts. But the truth is, you have passed far more tests than you realize. The moments you think were failures were often the exact moments Allah counted as victories for you, because the standard by which He judges success is different from the way the world judges it. You are not evaluated by outcomes, but by sincerity, effort, intention, and the state of your heart when trials surround you. You passed the test the day you woke up feeling spiritually empty, but still chose to pray. You passed the test the day your heart was heavy with sadness, yet you continued to trust in Allah's plan. You passed the test every time you withheld angry words you could have easily said. You passed the test when you forgave someone who never apologized. You passed the test when you kept giving even when you felt like you had nothing left. These moments may have felt small or unnoticed, but with Allah they are monumental. Angels wrote down these moments as acts of worship because they came from a place of sincerity and struggle. Think of the times you stumbled but stood back up, the times you cried but still held on to your faith, the times you walked away from a sin even though your desires pulled you toward it, the times you wanted to quit but kept pushing forward, the times you felt alone yet still whispered, "Why Allah?" These were not failures. These were confirmations of your strength. These were proofs that your heart was trying, even if your circumstances were overwhelming. Allah sees the effort behind the scenes, the battles no one else knows about, and the courage it takes to continue doing good when you feel like you're breaking inside. Many of your "I can't take this anymore" moments were actually the moments Allah was preparing your reward. You passed the test when you resisted the temptation to compare your life to others. You passed the test when you chose gratitude even though your situation seemed unfair. You passed the test when you trusted Allah during the silence, when you didn't receive immediate answers to your dua, but continued making them anyway. You passed the test when you remained humble in success and patient in hardship. Each of these choices elevated your rank with Allah, even if the world did not notice. Sometimes you pass tests without even recognizing them, because the victory happens internally, not externally. You may not have received what you wanted, but you gained wisdom. You may not have kept the person, but you learned self-worth. You may not have achieved the goal, but you learned perseverance. You may not have seen the outcome you prayed for, but you learn to surrender your heart to Allah's will. These internal transformations are signs that you passed the deeper test, the test of growth, purification, and spiritual maturity. There are tests where the only requirement is that your heart remains soft. When you refuse to let pain harden you, you pass. When you choose compassion over bitterness, you pass. When you keep believing that Allah has something better for you even after disappointment, you pass. When you protect your faith during moments of frustration and confusion, you pass. Allah looks at the resilience that rises inside you after every setback and the sincerity that drives you to keep your connection with Him alive. Some tests come in the form of waiting. Waiting for healing, waiting for clarity, waiting for a new beginning. The world tells you that waiting is weakness, but with Allah, waiting with trust is victory. Every day you wait without losing hope is a day you pass. Every moment you remind yourself, Allah is with me, is a moment your heart wins a battle unseen by the world. You pass the tests that revealed who you are when life becomes heavy. You pass the tests that molded your character, sharpened your faith, and softened your heart. You pass the tests that brought you closer to Allah, even if they pulled you away from everything else. You passed because you kept trying, kept believing, and kept returning to your Lord no matter how many times you stumbled. Preparing your heart for the blessings Allah has written for you is one of the most important parts of your journey. Many people prayed for something, cry for something, and wait for something, yet they do not realize that blessings require readiness. Allah does not send a gift to a heart that is not prepared to receive it. He expands your capacity before He expands your life. He strengthens your spirit before He blesses your circumstances. And often, the waiting you experience is not a delay in the blessing. It is the blessing preparing its place within you. The first step in preparing for Allah's reward is purifying your heart. This means removing resentment, jealousy, bitterness, fear, and the belief that the past defines your future. Blessings thrive in clean spaces. You may be asking Allah for peace while holding on to things that disturb your soul. You may be asking for success while clinging to habits that block your growth. You may be asking for a righteous spouse while still healing from past wounds. Allah wants to give, but He also wants you to receive with clarity, gratitude, and stability. When the heart is purified, it becomes a vessel capable of holding more than it ever imagined. Another way of preparing for blessings is through gratitude. Gratitude is a magnet for divine favor. When you learn to appreciate the small things Allah has already given you, you position yourself to receive the bigger things. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present. It teaches your heart to recognize Allah's mercy even in seasons of difficulty. A grateful heart sees blessings where others see burdens, opportunities where others see obstacles, and growth where others see delays. When you practice gratitude consistently, Allah opens doors you never thought you would walk through. Preparing also means letting go of the belief that you are unworthy of goodness. Many people block their own blessings because deep down they feel undeserving. They think their mistakes disqualify them. They think their past makes them unfit for happiness. But Allah is Al-Ghafur, the most forgiving, and He writes rewards based on who you strive to be, not who you used to be. Part of preparation is embracing that Allah's mercy is greater than your sins, and His generosity is greater than your self-doubt. You prepare yourself by allowing hope to enter places shame once lived. You also prepare by aligning your actions with your do. If you are asking for a new chapter, but still living with the mindset of the old one, the blessing may arrive, but you won't be able to hold on to it. Asking for healing requires adopting habits that nurture peace. Asking for rizq requires putting in effort, seeking opportunities, and trusting Allah to multiply them. Asking for love requires becoming someone who can give love in return. Asking for guidance requires a willingness to walk the path once the door opens. Preparation is not just spiritual, it is practical. Sometimes preparing for blessings means letting go. Allah may remove certain people, habits, desires, or plans from your life to make room for what is better. This removal may feel painful at first, but if you could see the future Allah sees, You would thank Him for every barrier, every separation, every closed door. What leaves your life is often clearing the way for what is coming. Part of preparation is accepting that not everything is meant to go with you into your next chapter. Preparation also involves expectation, having good thoughts about Allah and believing that He will honor your patience. When you anticipate goodness from Allah, you attract it. Your mindset shapes your experience. If you expect disappointment, you close the door before Allah even sends the blessing. But if you expect mercy, help, and openings, your heart becomes wide enough to receive them. Allah responds according to your expectation of Him, so prepare with optimism, trust, and hope. And sometimes preparation simply means becoming calm. When the heart stops rushing, stressing, and questioning every detail, it creates space for divine ease to flow in. A calm heart is a ready heart. When you stop trying to force outcomes and instead surrender your timeline to Allah, you step into a state where blessings can reach you without resistance. The blessings written for you are already on their way. But Allah wants you to be strong enough to carry them, wise enough to appreciate them, and mature enough to use them well. Your preparation shapes your destiny as much as your do.